Sweet. Okay. So first of all, I'm just going to quickly clear the scene, and I'm going to bring in a flat plane RX90. I'm leaning more procedural, so probably that's what I'm going to do. Not probably at this point. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to bring in a shader, and the first thing I want to achieve in this solar panel, if you notice, there are about 3 or 4 grading system in this solar panel. We have the diamonds, that is one. You would see that the diamonds has a grid to it. Then we have the squares, that is a separate grid. And then we have these long verticals, that is another grid on its own. So I'm going to be treating them individually and kind of using the shader editor to layer all of these different grading system. And first things first, I think I'm in the material preview. I'm going to bring in a Voronoi texture. And with the Voronoi texture, I'm going to click Ctrl T. That's Ctrl T. That's for Windows, and in Mac, it's also Ctrl T. And in order to have this to work, you have to go to Effect, Preference, and make sure you turn on Node Wrangler in this extensions or add-ons part. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect this to the base color first. Let's just see what this is looking like. First things first, this is too random for me. I'm trying to create a grid with this. So I want to probably change this to Chebyshev. I want to reduce the randomness. So we have that. I am quickly going to bring in a color ramp to create contrasts in this black and white marks I've created right here. So I'm going to bring in a color ramp and insert it right here. And with that, we can see this. I am going to move in close. Ideally, I'll probably want to even change it to constant so that I have a very stronger differences between the marks. I think this is the first layer I'm trying to achieve, but I need it to be a lot more tighter than it looks right now. I think I can use this for the diamonds. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to separate this because I think having to even create all of these shapes could get complicated later. So I'm going to save this for the diamond and try to figure out the grid. I think we have the diamond and then we have the grid. And for the grid, 1, 2, I think this is perfect right here. And this should probably, let me try a brick texture for this. Plug into the vector. We're going to have the same color for this, both whites, and then I'm going to reduce the offset on this. I'm going to make the height and width the same, and then I can scale this up just like so. But I want to reduce the size of this to 0.01 or maybe 0.04. Then can I mix both? If I use a darken with a mix, okay, it's getting somewhere. So maybe I can scale this accordingly to see if I can just get it to line up. Yep. Seems like I can scale it and get it to line up perfectly. So I just need to zoom in and really dial that number in. 0.3. This is going to be 0.5. And perfect. Nice first step, I must say. And thank you, Jesus, for this, because I was already finding it hard to figure this thing out. And the thing is that I think if I need to have this to repeat perfectly, it actually repeats. So I think I have the tiling down, and I have what else? I really have the tiling down. So I think these tiles, we won't have a repetition when we have to double it up. But something else I want to bring in again is these lines. Where is it? These lines. So for these lines, I think I'm going to bring in another brick texture right here. And I'm going to mix this in. But in mixing it, I want to, as a matter of fact, let me just set it up first before mixing. Let's try wave texture. Okay, wave texture, we want it on this other axis, and I want to crank that together with the color ramp. Right? So with that, I want to make it constant and then make that line way sharper like this. And then we can mix both. But in mixing both, I want one to be the factor and try to be able to control the other with the color. But this doesn't seem to be working. But if I can try to, then I think I'm having a good result right now. So all I need to do is change this white to black. Yeah, I think I'm going to scale it to align perfectly just like so. Yeah, so this is good. What I'm going to start doing next now is I'm probably going to start like setting up color. No, not color. Basically, color is going to be black and white. But I would want to have a black. So you see this place that have a blue color. I want to make that black or gray, and then would have the white lining on it. Because I feel like with black, the solar panel would absorb more of the solar energy. I think we're maximizing that space a bit better if we use black. Then I'm just trying to figure out the design on the fly. I'm not really sure of what I want to do yet. So in order to do that, let me figure out the color just like so. I'll bring in a mixed color node, mixed color, and I'll put this into the factor. So I'm going to assign colors to this. The back is going to be grayish, and then the top, and then the nodes, the things that seem like they're going to be carrying energy across the entire thing, that's these lines. I don't know what they call them. I probably should have done a little bit of research, but all of those things are going to be gray, lighter gray. Let me tend it towards white a bit. So something I want to do is pump up the metallic. I should start seeing some reflection on this. I feel like these lines going across should be smaller. So I'm going to come to the side right here and just cram it down a bit more. I want to make it thinner. Okay, this is cool. Yeah. So for this part, the thicker lines and the diamond, I want that to be so much more rougher than this black part. So I'm going to look for the mask that isolates this and this. That's this one, and I'm going to connect it to the roughness and just see how that's looking. So it's reflecting the way I want, but I want to control this better so that the distance between this black part that is rough and the reflective part is not so wide like that. So I am going to bring in a color ramp. Alright. But you see this white part? This white part of the color ramp is this really, really rough part. And we want that part to be a bit reflective. So I'm going to take this white and bring it down towards black. Immediately I start doing that, you see that, okay, it is now a bit more reflective. You're seeing some lights being caught on this side. That done, I am going to take this part and just make it a bit less reflective. The next thing I'm going to do, I think this is working the way I want it to. I probably want to create more contrast between these lines and, you know, the black part behind it. I feel like with colors I should be able to achieve that. So I'm going to create a distinction with colors. Make the dark really dark and make the white really white. I probably want to also influence the bump. So for this right here, I would take this into the normal, right? And then we need to convert color to normal. And in order to do that, we need to bring in the bump node. So this bump, I'm going to change from normal to the height. And we need to see what that's looking like. This is the information we took from this side down into the bump. And I think that bump has enough information to show on the final thing. So it shows like it's going inside, but we want it to come out. So what we have to do at this point is to make it inverted so it looks like it's embossed on it. So yeah, I'm going to click inverse, and yep, we have some action there. What I want to do next is create a variation of this. You see these lines, instead of all horizontal, I want to create something that is like a checkered kind of line. So I'm going to, I think, it might require me to mix two wave textures. Or I could change this to a brick texture. Let me change this to a brick texture and see. Okay. So on the brick texture, I'm going to copy this white, paste it. I'm going to take out the offsets. Mortar size, I'm going to take that to 0.005. Make it really slim. And yeah, this can be one. I think this is one. This wasn't what I was trying to achieve, but let's go again. I mean, we're creating different options, and it's going to be like a whole set so that you can choose from. Right here, I'm probably going to, what am I going to do next? So the size of the brick width and height, I want to make that kind of equal. So let's copy this and paste here. And yeah, this is also what I was trying to achieve initially, but what I will do with this is to dim in that grid, that checkered grid at the background, and make it a less visible. Something I think is important is this, the framing. It has a frame around it, something that is used to protect the edges. So I would want to create that for mine. So let me quickly get on that and just create the framing. But I would first of all select all of this and then reset all of that to the center. And the reason I want to do that is because in moving them out of the center, I want to use the control button so that it moves by the grid. GX, and it moves by the grid, just like so. GX moves by the grid, right? So that's cool. I'm going to go back to rendered mode, and I think I'm going to change this from fully rendered view to something transparent. Yep, so I'm not distracted by the HDRI. So what I'm going to do, Shift DX, and with Control, I can create a complete panel. So right here, I'm going to bring cursor to selected right here, and I'll bring in a cube, right? So with the cube, I'm going to scale that up, scale that on the X, just like so, on the X, just like so. And with these faces selected, that's this, no. First of all, let me scale it on the Y, SY, cool. And with this, I can copy this, select all, apply scale, and I'm going to insert. And with this, I'm going to bridge both. And this is going to be the framing for our solar panel. So let's see what this looks like in rendered view. Sweet, I love it. I'm going to make it metallic. I'm going to reduce the roughness. So that's it, guys. So long, and until I see you on the next one. Peace.